Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Ravi. Today we are here with another Azure Data Factory question and answers. So if you are trying to attempt Azure Data Engineer role, so you would have gone through with all my uploaded video on Azure Data Factory and SQL, because if you are applying for Azure Data Engineer role, so you have to face those two major technology question and answers. So please be ready, please watch my channel, please subscribe so you will get all the latest videos on my channel. So today we are taking another most important and tricky question of Azure Data Factory. So question is how you load data from multiple Excel file. So assume that you have multiple files, Excel file on the blob location, and inside file you have multiple Excel sheet as well. So how you load the file into our Azure Data Factory SQL tables. So you're getting my question, right? So question is, you have files. Let's take example, we have 6 files country wise for the employee detail. So inside employee detail we have two tabs, employee, department, or any tabs. So how you load those data into our SQL table, multiple tables. So I hope you got my question. So I'll give you the practical session today, so you can go on through with all my errors. So I am going to implement all the pipelines in front of you. So we might face some issues. I also try to get issues. So runtime, how to solve it, how to get the clarification for the interview perspective. Okay. So let's jump directly into the Azure Data Factory portal. Okay, so before that, let me give you the file structure we have, what we having. So let me give the file structure. So we have 6 files for us. So I'm just giving the idea because I'm going to show those files into blob location. So the scenario is I need to load that file from the blob. Okay, so inside file, what data we have? We have two tabs, employee and department, correct? So employee tables, we have 5 column, and department we have 3 columns. So let me give you the data wise. Let me truncate the data first. Might be I loaded earlier. So let me truncate the tables. So I'm going to show you the data structure what we have. Okay, so I am having 3 column on the department table and 5 column on the employee table. Okay, so you can see there is no data as of now. So end of this session, and end of this session we get all the data, means what file, what data we have in the 6 files, right? It will load. So employee tab data go to employee table, and department table, the tab data go to department table. That's our scenario. Okay, so let's directly jump into Azure Data Factory. Let me create one pipeline. You can see we let me show you the home location where we have dump all data. So I have a container called sales. Okay, is on the blob location. Okay, in the sales folder, means container, I have 6 files. Okay, let me refresh it, so we'll get it. Okay, let me go to ADF. Let me give the pipeline name is one. Okay, I'm giving simple name so you understand this is my pipeline one. So there are 3 different tricky parts you have to keep in mind before giving the answers. So f- first first thing what we want to do, we want to fetch the data, right, from the sales container in the blob, right? So how you did to get the data from the blob, we have to use get metadata activity. So I think we already covered that. What it will do, it will fetch the schema of your containers. Okay, so what we have to create a new data set, and where we have to point to blob. And what are the file type of us? I have Excel file to read, right? So I'll put the Excel. I already created link services to point that blob location. So I'm not going to go there. I just browse it. It will show all the folder presented on the blob location. Okay. So I need to point the sales folder as I mentioned. I'll get all the files, Australia, Dubai, India, Russia, USA, and UK, right? So I have 6 files here. So once we load it, and how I'm going to read the file, that also concerned, right? So in the top, I have Australia, Dubai, that's the sequence. So this first file index would be 0. Okay, so I'm not taking a workbook name. I'm just using an index name. You can both use both. That's not an issue. But index will be much easy for me to write. Okay, and my first row is a header. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I create a blob location. I pointed to the particular path, what path I need to follow, and I am reading from the first file. Okay, and I given first row as a header. So let it created it. Okay, once it's done, so it got created. Okay, so in this file, so what we pointed to sales folder, right? Inside sales folder, what we have 6 file. So read those 6 file. That might, because I might be chances, right, I want to work on the folder level, but here I want to work on the inside the component level. So I need to choose field list as a child item. Yeah, so I went to sales folder, and now I am fetching the field list, means I am getting all the file name as a child item. Let me debug it and see what output I'm getting. So that's why I ran this file, because I wanted to check my pipeline creation is without any error. Correct. If you face some error, I can fix it in front of you. So you will might face same error. So you can fix same as I am doing. I will done. Okay. So let me refresh it. Okay, so what's the expectation? I would get all six file, correct? The child item is Australia, Dubai, India, Russia. So what is the sequence? You can see I have given the name as an index, right? 0 to 1. The file uploaded on that same manner. I am going to read it. So that's why I given as a while creating data set, I have given as a index as a 0. Okay, you can see the same sequence. Last one is USA. So you can see last one is USA. Okay. So second part, let me get. So I got all the child items. So what I have to do? I need to pause this each file to for each loop to read one by one, right? That's then I can go inside the file, right? So as of now, I reached to that particular all file names, right? So I need to read it. So I have to use each file activity. So once I get all the file, I need to pass to for each activity. So let me read it. So what I have to do, I need to read a child item. You can see the child item. So I get all the file name here. Now, uh, now I reach to I am getting each file name correct from the blob location. So what next? I need to get inside the file and read the tab name, the seat name. Okay. So let me. I need to use again the for each loop. Let me go inside the activity. Okay. So you can see in the activity level for each is not allowed. Means you cannot use nested for each loop. Means inside the for each loop you cannot use the for each loop. So how we achieve it? So that's the second part I'm going to discuss it. We have to use the execute pipeline. Means you can call another pipeline which can help you to uh, get your seat name. Okay. So let me create one more pipeline called two. Before proceeding, I will give the second method what we have to do. Let me point to two. Okay. Okay. It's created. Now before proceeding ahead, I need to discuss one thing. So I am getting the file name from the first pipeline for each activity. Correct. So now what we have to do, we have to create one config file which give me the result set of your seat name. Okay, I know this is a new method I'm going to discuss with you. Okay, so here, so I have created one table here. Okay, it's called Excel config file, and I have two column names called file level seat name. And what data I have mentioned, I in the file name I have the file name what we present in the blog, okay, with your extension dot xlsx file. Please keep in mind we have to give exact name what we have in blob location, because blob location give the file for each leap, and our second pipeline we use same thing. So this give the xls file. So once suppose I pass this to a store procedure, and what the expectation, what are the tab we have, means what are the seat we have. So employee table what we have two seat, employee and department, correct? So what we have to do, we have to mention the seat name as employee and department. Please keep in mind we have to give exact same name what we have in tab. Okay, suppose you have three tabs, you have to give specify three names. Okay, it will run three times. So let's take example Azure SQL database. Okay, you can see, and let me copy. Let me open the new session because my session expired yesterday. So let me open the new query window, and I copy all the script. Let me see, do we have data or not? Okay, first of all, so I don't have data. Perfect, right? So what I'm briefing, I have got all the files listed here because this is configuration file. So I have to give specify the name and how many tabs I have inside the inside the Excel file. Correct. Now, if I let's take example what store process is doing. Store process is doing, I given a store process name is get seat name, and it's require one parameter to be passed from the Azure means pipeline, and it will give the specific seat name out of it. So if I pass employee underscore AUS, it will give me the seat name as an employee and department, correct? So let's assume that, and let me connect ADF. So in pipeline to what we have to do, we have to do lookup to Azure SQL and get that to seat name on dynamic way. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to create one SQL data set and pass the link series I have created. I'm just pointing it out, and I just need to pass a stored procedure, right? So I need to use a use query, correct? And as I have two output, so I have to disable the first row only, right? So I have, because I have two output, right? So let me point to store procedure. Okay, so I have one store procedure as of now in my SQL server, so it will be very faster to retrieve, and I need to import it because I need to pass some parameter, right? And in pipeline 2, I need to hold some value from pipeline one, correct? So I have to create one parameter as a file name because we're holding a file name from here. Okay. So once this pipeline hold the file name, take example, I'm employee underscore aus.xls, I have hold in this file, and what we have to do, we have to give this value to stored procedures. Means from the pipeline one, I am getting the data as employee underscore aus.xls, and we hold in pipeline two and passing into store procedure now. So when this store procedure run, so we have to get the output. Let me try to run it. So as of now, I'm giving the static one because I want to get the data. Okay, it's to check if working fine or not. So let me run it once. Uh, Going forward, we can make it dynamic. So I'll let you know. I'll show you how we do that. So I'm just verifying is I am if do we get two output from here by passing this value. So you can see I am getting seat name as a employees, correct, and seat name two is a department. We are getting two value, correct. Count is two for that static value what we passed. Okay. So keep in mind column name is seat name and data is a employee and department, correct. Now what we have to do, we got two values and we need to do operation on top of it, correct. So there's two value, might be three values, so we have to use again for each loop. So you getting my point, right? From the pipeline one, I fetch the file names and I am doing activity in pipeline two for do the operations. Okay. So in for each loop, what we have to do, we have to get all the value from the lookup, correct? So what we have to do, we have to do the array, lookup value array, because this lookup value hold the value in one by one sequential order, right? So we have to use lookup array. So now I got assume that we are got employee. So employee, we have to verify, right? It is employee or not. So we have what we have to use. We have if condition. Okay. So in a if condition, what we have to do, we just have to just compare the value. So how we compare that? Item dot sheet name. You getting sheet name from where we getting? Let me now note down and let you know how I will let you know. In lookup value, we are getting seat name equal to employee and seat name equal to department. So we have to use seat name. So what condition we have to do? We have to use contain. We have to use contain. Yeah. So now we written the condition for the if where I'm comparing the seat name from the with the employee, right? So if we are getting seat name as employee, then it will true. And for the true, what we have to do, we have to create a copy activity. Okay, for the true and false. So true is an employee and false is a department. I'm referring as a two component we are loading. We are loading for true employee and department. So I have created employee container here. Okay. So you can see I have created one connection here. In the connection, I am pointing to the blob with Excel and I have created two parameters. One is a for file name, second is a seat name. Okay. And for the file path, because I want to create a dynamic way, I have mentioned data set name because in the parameter I pull the name file name. And worksheet mode I have used name because I need the name here, right? We are referring from seat wise now. So we have to use name and I have given the seat name from the parameter because it should be dynamic and it should get it from the for each loop. Okay. Now in pipeline 2, we have to make a sync, correct? Sync means where we have to load. So my destination is a SQL server. Okay. I have created a link services. Let me point, and as I know the table name to load, I will put I can mention employees. Okay. So we cannot do nothing here. We just load it, and it's done here. Okay. So this is for true. We have to do same for false condition. Okay. In the copy activity, let's simply do the copy activity here. Just hold on. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to copy it. Okay, because we need to do same activity for the different table, right? So what we have to do, we can open the false condition, okay, and replace it with the cop employer and do the is for the department. Okay, so I think it sound great. Now we have to do I need to change source because we're reading it from the blob and taking seat name from the pipe for each loop because it's a true false. So employee go to true and false is go to department, right? That's my scenario. So I think there is no change on the source side, but in the sync we have to create new because we have to use department table, correct? Because we have to load multiple tables. That's my use case. And I'll do manual. I will put department as a table name. Okay, schema why I not mention? I think if you watch my previous video, you will get understand because by default the schema name is a DBO, so I don't need to worry about it because my schema name is, let me show you, is a DBO, correct? So let me go to the pipeline. So I'll give you brief about my pipeline 2 again, so you will understand. So pipeline 2, what I'm doing, I am doing lookup activity. It take a parameter from the pipeline 1 as a file name, and second one, what it will do, it will do the lookup. It will pass to seat name for me, and it go to for each loop. In for each loop, if we have used if condition, if my pipeline return employee, then it go to true. It is not, then false. Correct. So let me use a execute pipeline here in the pipeline one, execute pipeline and pass use true because this is my two, right? Two as a pipeline name. And as I mentioned, we have to pass the file name, right? So what we have to do, we have to click on the pipeline and setting, and what we have to pass from the metadata dot item name, correct? Because we're passing the file name, right? So it's a name property. Let me try to run. If any error comes up, we can see. Okay. So let me trigger the pipeline for a particular employee underscore AUS Excel file. So I have just kept a true condition for load the data for employee as of now to verify if working fine. So if it is work, then I will just replicate same thing for the false condition. Let me open it. Let me see the output of it so we'll understand. So it will read the lookup, okay, because we started lookup as of now. We are going passing from the past one. And let's see if loading employee table got loaded, okay, means there is no error. Let me run the query for the employee table. So do we have data or not? So data must be loaded, so let me truncate it. So what we got to understand, our pipeline is working fine as we expected. Now we have to do one thing. We have to uh, work on false condition. Okay, so you can see we have a employee copy activity. Okay, same thing what we have to do, we have to replicate here in the false condition with the department table. Okay, so let me delete it, paste it, and give the name as department. Okay, and my source is fine, same, right? There's no change because we pointing it from the blob location, but our sync means the destination option will be changed because we have to load into department table. So what we have to do, we have to do SQL DB, and we have to use same link services, and we have to point to department table now. Perfect. There is no such changes in the second pipeline except the department table name pointing to that. And let me point to execute pipeline one, correct? So in pipeline one, what I'm doing, we are doing it, giving the name means the file name, it gets passed, and it will call the pipeline 2. Let me debug it. This is starting. So in this session, what we learned, how to load multiple Excel file, multiple sheet to multiple table in SQL Server, correct? So what method we followed? We have uh, followed three steps. First step, we get pipeline one, where we get the file name what we're going to pass, and we pass that pipeline the file name to second. And second pipeline, what it do, it will get the pipeline name, the file name, and get the seat name from the config table. In the config table, what we are doing, once we have to cross verify it's employee or not, because I'm referring to the seat 2 only here, so we have to combine it and load use the copy activity in the third step. And we have used true. True means employee, false means department. If you have more conditions, you can use more if else and load it. Okay. So let me see the status of the activity. So my first activity is run. So first activity would be Australia, correct? Let me see the input. What input is that? Australia table, correct? The first one is completed. And you can see for this is kept running because it's taking all the file one by one and loading it out. So let me refresh one more time. So still second pipeline. Second pipeline means what? Is Dubai, right? Because we are reading on sequential order. Okay, so we have to wait for some time, and if you want to see the status of our data, so you can run the query of service statement and see if data is loaded or not. You can see data being loaded here. Okay, so I hope you now able to understand, get the give the answers to interviewer for Azure Factory Pipeline question answers, how we load the multiple file, multiple sheet to multiple table. Correct. So I have covered all the errors, how the scenario what being comes up, and let me see the status again. So the three files being loaded, and if you see the count, it get increased. 34 is the count, so you can see more data now. 51. Okay. So let me come to this point. So please share this video as much as you can. So who try to give the interview on Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Pipeline, or Data Engineer roles. So they should watch all the my playlist and all the technical perspective of the pipelines. Okay. Let me see. So you can see pipeline got successful. There is no error comes up. So let me just cross verify the data. Perfect. So I hope you like the content of my channel. Please do subscribe. Please share the video as much as you can. Thank you for watching.